trial based on this information that was discovered. And as of November 4th, 2022, there was an evidentiary hearing where we all went to court, showed up in support for this information to be heard, bringing this to the attention of the judge, to the attention of Cuyahoga County, and expecting, some swift justice for him. At this point in time, we've been really just waiting for the judge to make a ruling based on the information that was heard in that evidentiary hearing in November of 2022. So we are now at March, nearly April of 2023. We have not yet received any response from the judge, no ruling as of yet. So we're day to day, just kind of faithful that one day soon a ruling will come through and it will be in favor of Dwayne Brooks's release. And I think that's pretty much all that I have, unless I missed anything. Mr. Jones, I'll give it back to you.
Thank you for the update. I wanted to also remind everybody that on May the 6th of 2023 in Canton, Ohio, Breaking Silence and many other organizations will be hosting a community day. With that being said, I will be passing the microphone over to the president, founder, CEO of Breaking Silence, Ms. Lisa Riley. And can you give us more information on this event, please?
Thank you. You're so kind. Yes, on May 6th this year, 2023, we are going to have a community day called Bridging the Community in Canton, Ohio at Nimisila Park from 1 to 4. This is a free event. It's open to the entire public. We will have a bouncy house for the kids. We will have a chef that's coming from Chicago, Illinois, and donating his time and his food to cook and feed everyone that attends. We're going to have tables set up with different information on jobs and different community programs that could help people with housings and jobs, substance abuse, voting. So we're going to have speakers. It's just going to be a wonderful, wonderful event. I've been blessed with the Reinvention Center, Sale with Sippy, Kevin Haynes, Aisha, the Brooks, Dwayne Brooks movement. That's what we're saying. The Dwayne Brooks movement. They've all been extraordinary putting all this together with me. So I couldn't have done it without any of you, honestly. So thank you for that. And everyone that can hear this is more than welcome. There's just no one that's not invited. Let me say it like that.
So it's going to be where at?
It's going to be in Canton, Ohio.
And that's, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's Stark County in Canton, Ohio.
And the date for this and the time for the other people
And
that's listening?
It's going to be in a park called Nimisila Park, and it's from 1 to 4.
If anybody needs more information, feel free to reach out to Lisa Riley or go to Facebook. She's on Breaking Silence with Prison Reform. You can go to the Reinvention Center page and DM myself, Sale Pacific, or contact anybody that's on this platform, and we will get you the information that you need. We encourage, ask, request, and want everybody to come and help support. We make changes with a mass amount of people. One person can make a change, but it's much easier when it's a group of people. So let's pull it together and make this happen. We appreciate everything that everybody's doing in the community, even if you're not on here. I just want to reiterate that. Continue to do the good job that you're doing. And thank you. With that being said, we're going to get into this topic. The topic the topic is, can a person in a committed relationship have a friend of the opposite sex? For the purpose of this topic, we're going to define the word friend. The definition of friend for this topic is someone you call on the phone, hang out with, confide in, and trust and respect. You know, I limited the actual definition because I wanted to have some direction in where we was going to go and what we was going to do. That's what I wanted to do, you know, so that's why I limited it what we did. Okay, so now what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share something with you. Let me see this here. Let me get this. Okay, there we go. I'm going to share something with you that's on this topic, and then we will go into the actual topic. I'm going to ask that somebody on the panel think about what it is that they're going to say, because after I share this video with you, I would like for someone else to take the lead as far as giving their opinion in regards to that topic. So what I'm going to do at this moment is I'm going to go ahead and share the video. Can we hear the video? Okay, let me do this here. Let me do it again. Okay, I see what the problem is. Go out of it and come back in. Okay. Okay.
Friends are negative. And when you have a situation to where a woman who's feminine or submissive or a regular, genuine woman, a lot of the times they're open to leadership. I'm a leader, and you have another leader, so he giving you his perspective on his program and how he do things. It may not be for a relationship, but I'm giving you mine, so you going in two different directions. Too many people in your girl's ear at the same time is going to confuse her, and that confusion is going to manifest itself in her behavior, and it's going to become a problem in your relationship. It may not even be that the guy want to smash your girl, but just his way of doing things, his doctrine. She may respect him, and you know, he may be an influence on her. So she's going his way while also trying to go your way. He may not do things the way that you do them in your house. So just by her respecting him and, you know, having some respect for him or whatever, she may take on his opinions or ideologies, and that may not be your get down in your crib. Without her even knowing, she's going on a path or she's traveling in a direction that don't align with yours.
Okay. Okay. 1 second. Okay. So now we're back to this. Any comments on the video? Let's start with that. Anybody just, you know, have any comments on the video?
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
I personally concur. If that's the case, then she needs to have start a relationship with that gentleman. I mean, your girl or your significant or your guy or your significant other is supposed to be your all in one, all in all. That's who you're supposed to confide in. All right. Now, sometimes things don't work out right. with y'all or y'all have disagreements. A lot of times my daughter will call me or a friend, a girlfriend, or someone within the family. What goes on in your household, whether it's the bedroom or anything other like that, should not be confided into anyone, especially no total stranger outside of the house. I do not agree with women just having, we going down to the bar, and are we going on a cruise together because you can't go, we just friends. Matter, I heard the whole thing. A matter of fact, we just friends. We going away for 7 days and 8 nights on a cruise together. He's gay. And you know what I told him? Bon voyage. And you go to, and I went the other way. I mean, it's unreal. It's just unreal. And I concur with everything the gentleman has said. So if there's anyone else who would like to chime in, please do so.
I think that we all have relationships with people everywhere. I go to the grocery store, I have a relationship with the person behind the counter. I don't take that relationship outside the grocery store. It stays in the grocery store. So I agree with what you're saying. You know, I think when it gets down to personal relationships, there's boundaries, and you have to build your boundaries. And that's what strengthens a relationship. Just my opinion. Not that I'm any relationship expert here, but just an opinion.
All right. Is that an echo? Well, I might have two mics. Can you hear me? Am I echoing?
Yeah, you're echoing a little bit, but we can hear you, sir. I think you have 2 of them on. You do know that, right?
Yeah, he got 2 devices on. That's what the echo.
I know we started something like this the other day, but now, in my opinion, if you speaking on anything outside of your home anyway, that's a no-no to start with. If you talking to other people about exactly what's going on inside your house with your relationship. Now, if you have friends, male or female, I feel you can confide in a friend, male or female, if you just getting kind of general conversation, if you're attacking conversations that's limited to, you know, general conversation, general opinion, or maybe gender opinion. You know, if you talk to a male about, if a female talk to a male about what's going on in her house, it's beneficial sometimes to have another male to get a male perspective on how her man thinks, vice versa. But as far as actually going into a lot of detail on what's actually going on in a relationship, yeah, I agree that. You have friends that you've been friends for. That's a little different because that's somebody that can help. You know, with your opinion of whatever your
You're echoing again, sir. You're echoing again, sir. You're doing a bad echo.
That's not me. That's somebody else's turn. Something else on. Can you hear me that straight?
Can you mute yourself, Ms. Hayes? Can you mute yourself, Ms. Hayes?
Mute myself? Okay.
Got it. All right. So pretty much I feel that I do believe you can have male and opposite sex friends. I've had them. I've been opposite sex friends to my kids' moms and plenty of people with no problem. But I think the most of it is the problem usually comes in, most people feel that you can't trust the other sex. I think that's what the majority of people gonna come with. The negative part of this is not being able to trust the other person, which I don't care if they're your friend or, like she said, somebody in the grocery store you talk to. It's always somebody else gonna be after your spouse or can be after your spouse. It's all in what your spouse gonna do. But as far as me personally, I don't worry about whoever my wife or anybody, who they friends with at all, no matter what their intentions are.
Any other comments before I actually chime in? And I'm going to start posting polls for people to ask. One of them will be in direct correlation with what Mr. Dip was saying as far as some of the comments he made is going to be about trust and things like that there, you know, and then we can go from there. But any other comments before anybody else would like to give a comment?
Yeah.
I have a question too.
Oh.
So go ahead, Mr. Parker.
Go ahead, Drill.
All right. So yeah, no, I agree to and still with Mr. Dip. I feel like it's all a trust thing. Now, my thing is, you know, I believe you know, opposite sex can be friends, but then again, it's that trust that comes with it. You know, I feel like, you know, people, especially opposite sex, male or female, is always going to be that tension, whether you know it is there or not. You know, people, that's how we usually start a conversation. It's just all physical appearances. Hey, how you doing? Now, like to Mr. Dip's point, he said, you know, he's got his exes, you know, he's got friends with like that, they're friends and they confide within each other. I feel like that's always going to be the base. And I'm on my past. There's only a very few girls that I know that are like friends that like, you know, there was nothing sexual or nothing there, you know, but like it was just strictly I got your best interest. Like really my home, like my home girls, I call them like road dogs. But everybody else that's like a friend now, it was like, oh, we liked each other back in the day. And we cool now is that mutual respect there, and you know, nothing's like ever's gonna happen. But there's always that history, you know, that past, you know, that kind of initiation moment. And I think that's up to the partner of the other sex. Are they comfortable? What comes with that, you know, and that comes with, you know, insecurity issues or really just being confident. But then that's really the question within itself. Like, is that acceptable in society today? You know, are you able to have, you know, friends or, you know, of opposite sex? I think being able to confide, you know, being able to confide is a little, I would say, is a no too, just because you're not supposed to talk about outside, you know, business, inside business to, you know, outsiders. You know, family member, that might be, you know, one thing, but if you're talking to, you know, a friend who really at the end of the day, you know, is a stranger, I don't really think, you know, that's the route to take on that one. So I would agree on that.
Okay. So we kind of having mixed answers here. We are saying I agree on this and no, I don't agree on that. You know, the definition of a friend is someone that for this purpose is someone they confide in, hang out with, be on the phone with a great deal of time, not all day, every day. They pick up the phone, they call them, and they trust and respect them. So I don't want to just have people say yes or no, but you know, we're giving answers saying, okay, I don't accept this, and then for this, I don't accept that. I just want to put that out there as well as the poll. Once this poll we get done, I ask everybody to take the poll, and once the poll get done, I'm going to launch the results. Mr. Parks.
You know, I don't do no straddling of the fence. You know, I'm gonna get all the way on one side or the other, right? So absolutely not, right? And I'm coming from a perspective of a seasoned vet when it comes to relationships, and I'm married now, right? And I choose to stay married. So therefore, I ain't having no female friends, right? Associates is cool, right? Like somebody, hey man, that's my homegirl, da da da. That's cool, right? But now we ain't having no phone calls. Like, and this is because, right? I look at everything you do increases or decreases your chances of success, right? So I want to increase my chances of succeeding in this thing, right? In marriage, right? And I don't think having a female friend is conducive with increasing my chances, right? And this is coming from a position of experience. I know individuals who have opposite sex friends, right? Who have actually got with that opposite sex friend in the past. Like I know people like that, right? So you don't want to open up those doors because you don't know how, like a lot of friends started out as friends and they might have slipped, right? They might have slipped. So just to alleviate any doubt, right? I don't want to put a strain on my marriage. We're not even gonna play with them. That's something we're not even playing with. Like I say, we ain't straddling the fence. I ain't gonna jump around. Nah, absolutely not. Emphatically, no. You should not have a friend, someone you confide in the opposite sex. They have books. If you want to read about a man, read the 5 love languages or whatever, right? They got books you can read. They got specialists, but you definitely shouldn't have somebody you calling on the phone like, man, my dude, this, my dude. No, we don't have them type of discussions. Not if you want to succeed. You know, I'm going on year 7. You know, I got a long way to go, but I'm gonna make it because I ain't slipping up. I dropped the mic.
Okay,
Can I jump in on that?
yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
All right, so help me with something, right? Because now is that a situation of people saying they can't have friends of the opposite sex because you're afraid you might slip, or the possibility it would be there better because you're friends with someone of the opposite sex? Because I don't see how, if you're married or you in a committed relationship, unless you're not ready to be committed. Because remember, that's that big word we talked about in a whole nother topic, that commitment. See, I was married, and everyone knows me, I got options all over the world coming no matter which way we turn and look. But once you commit and say, I'm committed, I don't care what this woman talk about. I can confide in other women and ask advice and talk about what might be going on in my day-to-day with my relationship. But if she makes a pass or they provide that opportunity to cheat, man, that's up to that your individual self. Has nothing to do with the other person, because if you really committed to your relationship, as soon as that person jumps out there with that option, that's when, okay, you're no longer my friend, because you're not a friend of just me. Because if you're a friend of me, you should be a friend of the relationship, me and my wife, or me and my husband. So my husband or my wife should be able to also talk to you and know that I'm talking to you. See, I've been in relationships where I talk to my kids' mom all the time in front of my wife or in front of my girlfriend, because that's our relationship. But if you on the phone with your friend only when I'm not there, and you discussing things that you don't want me to know about, those jazzy situations we talking about. But that's an individual situation or individualized situation for the person, where if you know that you're weak, like when I first started my marriage, I knew I'm weak. I told her, you want what? Monogamy? All right, I'm gonna be honest. That right there, I don't know. I'm gonna try. So I knew, like he said, while I was in that trial mode, I got to keep it away from it. I just got to push everything back. But once I get committed to where I was going and I know what I'm committed to, then I'm good to go. So you also got to know yourself, to know where you're at. But as a general whole, still, I say, no, because if you confide in your mama and you a man, that's the opposite sex. Of course, we're not, that's not a friend, but mama can give you some good advice. Auntie can give you some good advice on what we dealing with a woman, because women help me be able to become committed from getting a woman's perspective. When I talk to all the guys, you know what it is. We go out here, man, what happened? Man, screw her, screw that. Same thing the women gonna get. Or he cheating, he ain't no good. He go ahead and leave. Then you go watch the Tyler Perry show and you now watching the same thing. Then you listen to the music. Then screw her, screw him, go cheat. So we all just pile driving down. But at least if you get a different perspective from, like for me, women, where it's like, hey, Dip, well, sometimes she ain't looking at it like that. She just want to hold her hand because that's how we are. Oh, really? I thought that was stupid. But if it wasn't for a female breaking some of these things down to me, I would have never got it either. Because ain't none of you jokers gonna tell me that. Y'all would have been right on me. I hate when she hold my hand too.
So I noticed you used the word screw this, or they'll say go screw
The
that.
word screw this, or they'll say go screw that, go screw this.
Let me hit the microphone. Somebody's not.
Let me hit the microphone.
So I noticed you use the word screw this, screw that. She'll say go screw this, or he'll go say go screw that. They go both ways. They go both ways. And I feel that I was brought up, and I'm not getting into where I'm at, I'm just responding to what you're saying. I was brought up, what happens in the house stays in the house. So if I was brought up that way, I'm expecting when a lot of us form our households, our foundations based on the foundation or the things that were put into us. What happens in the house stays in the house. There was, as we know, and I know you want to go back to no time thing, but a lot of relationships today don't work because we are changing the rules. We're not setting boundaries. We're expected to accept a lot of more things that's not acceptable. So now that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have this discussion with this topic, because we got to get back to what the basic rules are that's conducive for a healthy relationship. It's not healthy if if you are the man of your house and you and your woman come together as the man and the woman of the house, not no big eyes or big hims and little hers, but the man and the woman of the house, y'all come together and y'all develop a program that y'all are going to follow. If you go out, if she goes to somebody else and get some advice, their advice is not in the betterment of y'all program. 9 times out of 10, especially if it's not your mama, your sister, your auntie, somebody who doesn't have an interest in you. I choose women that I deem to be beautiful, who I say I deem because it's my choice. I deem to be beautiful. So I feel if she has a guy, I and other people feel if she has a guy that's hanging around her, he ain't just hanging around her just to be a friend. He deems her beautiful as well. And if the situation arises, it ain't about slipping. He's waiting on the opportunity. He's waiting on her to come and say, hey, he's not doing this or he's not doing that, or this is the way we are, or we on the out, so he can slide himself in at that point there. There's several people that have said what I'm saying now. This is not just my personal opinion. I'm just sharing with you what I've heard. Now go ahead, Mr. Dip. You look like you itching to say something back again, brother.
Well, of course, when you're speaking about men, it's kind of it's a biased situation for the male and the female. I ain't even gonna say that these days, because Lord knows how many be sitting at the gate trying to fight me. But of course, if you got a man, our nature, testosterone, dealing with a woman, and that's why as men we can't talk amongst each other like women can discuss their problems with their relationship. We can't vent to each other, because as soon as you let another man know there's something going on in your house, your homie gonna be right there ready to wipe behind your back and go at your wife, just like what you're saying with the women. But let's go back real quick what you said about how you can't go back talking to anybody outside the house. See, I think the problem is we can't just say like granny or just your family members. I believe today we don't have no basis. Like who's that? Carlos said earlier, people not educating themselves about relationships. Before, especially in the Black community, because as we spoke about yesterday about, I watch shows like the Kardashians, the Chrisleys, and Duck Dynasty. Most of the issues we talking about, that world over there, they don't have them issues. They don't have that jealousy. They don't have that type of situations we go through. But see, the basis on how we build relationships now, nobody getting educated. So we all, what you doing, what you saying, we keep it in the house and we try and figure it out ourselves. But if you read stuff like he said, love and respect, what a woman want, what a man want. It's a bunch of literature and stuff now that you can go to, but if you're not guided to it, because Lord knows I guide a lot of people to these things. You sit in a home trying to figure it out yourself. And we know what that does today, because how you figuring it out? Keeping it in the house, and the only thing we watching is these damn Tyler Perry shows, which is molding what we supposed to be in the family. So that's where the destruction comes from, because everything that man and all his shows show is what? Distrust, disloyalty, cheating. The Black man ain't no good no matter what you look at and what you do. So that's what they learning inside. So if you don't have wisdom to go outside of your house to go to wisdom, I ain't say just go talking to anybody. Look at what a successful relationship to you looks like first, and then you can take that outside of the home. But I still think that still kind of sways away from what we talking about, just a male and a female friend that you confide in outside the home that may not have good intentions for your family.
I think that even family members can offer bad opinion just because they don't like the person, that you're dating, or they don't like the person that you're married to. So I don't think all the time. So I'm my mother's 20th child, so I don't think that sometimes your family will offer advice based on how they feel about the person, that you're dating. So I don't think that that's a good source of confidant. You know what I mean? Not all the time. I think that an elder person who's non-biased and says, well, let's do this. Why don't you sit in front of me and I talk to both of y'all? Then you know that she or he has your best interest at hand. See, because the lifestyle I live, most time men fail because of the women or that they were dating, because another dude in the game used them to kidnap, rob, and murder them. You know what I mean? Case in point, you know, one of my best friends got killed in April 1996, and his wife, longtime wife, they had 5 kids. She had set him and I up to be robbed. I got a page and I had to leave. So a dude that she was dating, that was somebody that was buying some drugs from him, she went to the store and knew that the dude told him that I was going to be there and he was supposed to rob me and him. You know, she had told him, you know, don't kill my husband. I don't really care about the other dude. Don't kill my husband. But her husband ended up getting killed because she let the wolf in the house. You know what I'm saying? So most time it's people. You got some conniving dudes out there. You got some conniving women out there on the outside. I think I'm not straddling the fence, Carlos, but I think that in some cases, men and women can have friends that they it's the person, it's the individual person, because there's nothing James or any of my friends women can say to me, because the first time I'm gonna put them in check. The next time I'm gonna bring it up in front of James and whoever. Say, man, I don't rock like that. Don't do that. Don't disrespect me like that. If she says something out the way, that's the first thing I'm gonna do. The second time I'm gonna tell him in front of her. You know what I'm saying? So it won't be no misunderstanding. Now, if he chooses to believe her, then he really don't have no trust in me. So I'm gonna sever that tie, you know, amicably. You understand? So I think it's the individual, but 9 times out of 10, I think that a lot of women have friends that they aspire their husband to be like. So when she takes advice from him, then you know that's the platform or model that she's looking for. You see what I'm saying? So somebody else outside, like old boy was saying, somebody else outside of my relationship is setting a bar for me. You know, because I'm unique and different in my own way. So if he giving advice or she's inquiring advice from him, then he's at a standard that she expects her mate, husband, or man to be. So if he never meets that bar, then in her opinion, that outside person has set the bar for the person that she's in, instead of her bringing him up to that particular standard that she wants him to be at. You know what I mean? So I think that you have to come from the ground up together, no matter how difficult it is. You know, and I think people who counseling should come from somebody who's completely neutral and don't know either one of y'all together. I think you should get first couple counseling together with that person and individual counseling apart so that he can bring and then back together as couple counseling. Because girlfriends are going to offer opinion how they feel about that person. They might not like him because of something he said to them, you know, back in the day or in the past or anything, or just from a first opinion. So her opinion that every opinion that she gives is going to be negative or biased towards them. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much she loves her friend, her opinion is going to come from how she feel about the dude that she's dating. Same way with, with a guy. With a guy, man, I wouldn't offer an opinion. I give him my if James or somebody came to me, I'm gonna give him my honest opinion based on the situation. However, I'm thinking that I'll tell him that man, pull it to the side and bring that same thing that you asked to me. Because so many times we hold stuff and let it fester and build up the way it comes out in a time bomb, and it's almost irreparable. So, I'm not on the fence, but I just think it depends on how that person was raised and the loyalty and commitment because I've seen some of my sisters, man, with their male friends go way out in the left field, and I've seen some of them that another man can't say nothing to them. You know, that they stay committed to them for 30, 35 years. You know, so I don't know. I think it's the individual. I think it's based upon the individual.
Okay, I wanna play a video before we let Cherie speak. So Cherie has her hand up. And then we're gonna go from there. I want to share another video with you because we're speaking about man. And you know, I personally like to define different things because everybody, just because you're a male don't make you a man, you know, but I think, you know, so I want to play something on that for everybody so everybody can see that. Let me see. So, yeah. Let me get this going.
Is a male who generally looks to be of service. So, to properly identify the difference between what I call a grown male and a man. Grown male can look, he's wearing the uniform of a man, but still stuck in the emotional capacity of a boy, right? A grown male is a male who generally looks to be served. A man is a male who generally looks to be of service. So,
Facts.
That's Jane. That's TV. That's TV. For me, that's TV BS because the dude that he's sitting with wrote "Think Like a Man," and at the same time, that clown was in an outside relationship with his woman.
Hey,
The
can I
same
say
one.
about that?
Yeah, the same one that wrote the book "Think Like a Man." You know, and that they made the movie about was in an outside relationship with you know, outside affair with a whole nother woman while he's writing his book. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let me ask you
Steve
this.
Harvey in that book, right?
Hold on. We got Cherie that had her hand up for a while. So before we get into that, we have to let Cherie speak. But I want to say before we do that, I'm not looking at the person, I'm looking at the information. You know, I'm just judging the information, not the person. You know, good information can come from somebody that's a complete idiot. You know, I'm not, so again, I'm not looking at him, I'm just looking at the information. Miss Cherie, where you at? Go ahead, ma'am.
Where am I at? I just say I agree with it. One is about trust. When it comes to the insecurity thing, it's about being secure in who you are and that relationship, whether that BFF is a male or female. Because for women, it could be the same as getting advice from your girlfriends. A lot of times they might want your situation or they might be miserable themselves. So they don't want you to be happy. So they're not going to give you good advice. Of course, they're going to find everything wrong with that man, his shoes, his job, his this, his that, right? So you have to, you should never tell anyone don't be with someone else because of what you say. It should be between that person and their relationship. And then you have to know your partner. When you all spoke about the way things were, you know, back with granny and grandpa and keeping things in the house, that is true. But then sometimes we also, as a community, we have to hold people accountable for their BS. And a lot of times we don't do that. We don't, you know, we don't go back and hold people accountable. And I think Dip said, educate yourself. If you don't talk to anybody, then where are you getting your education from? How are you being educated about the relationships if you repeating the cycle? A lot of times the problem in our community is we don't break the cycles of
I think that
foolishness.
education, Cherie, comes from the same place that the people before us was getting that education from. What we're doing, we went away from professional counseling and things like that, and we're going to these hood counselors and these girlfriend or boyfriend counselors or BFF counselors who has no certification degrees or anything. You know, so I think that's where we went wrong at. We went away from the counseling in the roadmap that was established and showed that marriages last for 35 years or 50 years. Actually,
what counseling was that? What counseling?
Okay, the counseling that you didn't get, brother. That's the counseling I'm speaking of. The one that a
You
lot of us
said the
didn't get.
roadmap.
I didn't
Our
get it either.
grandparents wasn't going to no counselors.
Okay, so now let me share that with you. They didn't go to the pastor of the church.
Yeah, exactly. And what?
Okay, that's the counselor, and that's the counselor. Do we go to the pastor of the church? Anybody know a violent newborn?
But hold on, let's say what you said, the pastor of the church. This is what I love right here, because what is the pastor of the church going to always run you to? The law. See, if we learn the law, it's like having these
Yeah,
debates
James.
all the time. You got a law that you
Okay.
run it by the word. If the husband and the wife, that's why I noticed when I learned about commitment, the major reason relationships don't work now is because nobody committing to nothing. When we watch relationships where they say, I met her Monday, I got married Wednesday, they last 80 years. You know why? Because they still were biblical based. I'm committed to this relationship, bad, good, and different, and we're going to stay together because that's what the Bible says. So coming from slavery on up through the years, that was where that commitment stayed in. That's kind of where, like you said, if you're going to the pastor, what the pastor going to tell you, that's still your husband, that's still your wife, y'all got to work it out. Today, nothing talk about work it out. Everything is you can leave, break up, divorce. See? So I agree with what you're saying. You went to counseling, but it wasn't like, the therapy that everybody talking about now. It was finding a solid base person that's talking about some type
Okay,
of
but
law.
I don't think that solid base person was a best friend, a BFF. Go ahead, Mr. Parks. I see, I know you got your hand. I apologize for having you wait so long.
Y'all gave me a lot to go on. First, I want to respond to what Dip said, right, about the biblical principle. I'm not a Christian, right? So I don't adhere to that, right? But I believe in marriage, which is something that was instilled in us way before slavery. We had family structure before we were stolen from our continent. And this was before that book was taught to us, right? So our principles predate Christianity, right? So I wouldn't just attribute it to a person being a Christian, because we got Muslims on this show too, so they not adhering to the Bible, right?
Yeah,
but
I
they can have.
I wasn't saying just Christian. I'm saying about, because you're right. Even if you don't put just the Bible, I was just using the Bible because most people that we were talking about, intimately, they're gonna go to the Bible. But the bond of marriage and the rules and regulations, I don't care what religion it is, you had some structure, rules, and structure with them rules that people went by. Right now, wouldn't you agree? Ain't no structure to nothing no more.
Oh no, I agree, right? Which I'll tell you my whole motivation behind not having any female friends is because I want to put my wife's mind at ease, right? At the end of the day, right, you got to think about it. I'm an empath, right? So I'm always thinking about how another person feels. Like, how would I feel if my wife had a male best friend? Probably the same way she'll feel if I had a female best friend. I don't agree with it, right? And it's not even just the opposite sex. If she had a best friend who was a girl who liked girls, I wouldn't be cool with that either. You know what I'm saying? Because they could have an ulterior motive. Just like, not that I would ever have a friend who was a boy who liked boys, but it's acceptable with women. But for me, I'm not saying it's an insecurity thing. I'm very secure, and my wife is very secure, right? But I do what I do. I wasn't advised on this. Nobody told me this. I just felt like it was in my best interest to put her heart at ease, her mind at ease. And I ain't never had no female friends anyway. Like I'm gonna keep it a buck. I ain't never had no female friends. If it was a female around me, well, no, when I was young, they was like part of the set, like from my hood or whatever. They were homies. They were homegirls, right? But even
But
back
could they
then,
get it if they tried?
yes, they could. And you
There
already
you
know.
go. So yeah, you're right. We didn't have no friends.
So now, they can't even be around. They can't even be around, man. That's just me because of the past, right? No, I'm not gonna do that, man. I'm not gonna. It ain't about if I feel like I'm weak. No, I know how strong I am. I wouldn't have committed to a marriage. I could have stayed doing what I was doing, but I felt like I was ready. You know what I'm saying? I was ready. So I want to fully commit, and I feel like fully committing is, no female friends. They can be associates. They can be friends from far away, but we ain't talking. I ain't, and I would never talk to them about what's going on in my house. Like James said, that's something that they just didn't do. Our grandparents, our ancestors, they didn't talk about that, right? So yeah, I would never do that.
Yeah,
Mr. Hayes, you had your hand up, sir.
I'm pretty much in line with what Mr. Clifton had said earlier regarding about the elders. And another, like I said, elephant we're leaving out the room is most people we take advice from in relationships aren't even in a relationship. Most people we take advice from in marriages aren't even in marriages. So therefore, they don't know the strains and the sacrifice and different things that comes with both. So I would encourage anyone, if you are going to talk to anybody about any part of your relationship, whether it's your relatives or otherwise, to have someone who's been in a relationship, or maybe they like the elders. Mr. Clifton gave an elders, so a neutral party, and preferably an elder who have no benefit one way or the other in it, and who had a fruitful marriage or in a fruitful relationship, or even an older friend or a sister or somebody who have a fruitful relationship or a fruitful marriage, and you ask them what it is. Because when you marry somebody or you engage or you're in a committed relationship, there's a lot more at stake than just, oh, just pack the bags and leave. Oh, just cut her off. Oh, just do this. Oh, just do that. So it's not just whether it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend that's outside of it. It's also who's disseminating, who you receiving this information from. And because a lot of them can't even relate. So so a lot of the information you may get just may be bad information. But like I said, I take Mr. Christian's position regarding the elder part, but no, I'm still diametrically opposed to it. So that's just my position.
Okay, Mr. Clifton.
What Dip said, a lot of times, well, a lot of the older people stayed in, we were in a chauvinistic period to where they stayed together for years because of a commitment. But I think that it diminished the dreams of, either the wife or, you know what I mean? Because most of the time during those times, which were hard times, that the man didn't really support the woman going to do the things that she wanted to do. He wanted her solely, and then a lot of times the same pastors. Both my grandfathers, my maternal and paternal grandfathers were pastors. Most of those pastors they were men of God, but a lot of times they live 70 to 80% flesh. So the advice and counseling that they offered might have been genuine and sincere, but they weren't living the lifestyle that they were giving counseling upon. And so I don't think that a person has a right to speak life into your relationship if he's not living a life according to God, be it Muslim or be it, Christian. And so he can't offer any advice into my life. Then I don't, like most of the times, women give advice and they're not even in a relationship, and they're not even their road is rocky at home. You know what I mean? So, and as to what Carlos said, yeah, they're not happy in their own home, but they're offering you advice on how and what you should do according to your relationship. I might vent to somebody, but I'm not going to offer it. I'm not going to ask for advice as to how I should live my life, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a merging of two lives, and you have to make your lives compatible to fit. It's not going to be perfect, so there are going to be some checks and balances, some give and take, if you really want to stay, like Dip say, committed. And at the end of the day, it's about total commitment. If you're not all the way in, man, then you're not in at all. You can't be 90% in and think that you're going to survive, because it could be that 10% that breaks it. You know what I mean? It stops you from going forward.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this, Mr. Clifton. I'm patiently sitting back and I'm waiting, my turn, but I just want to interject this question here. If my significant other, and I'm not saying me personally, I'm just giving a hypothetical situation, is going to somebody else and confiding in them and has trust for them, or is doing things with that person opposed to me, how can I say she's all in? Because if we're in a committed relationship, I'm supposed to be your everything, your friend, your confidant, your advisor, your protector, everything. And you're supposed to be my everything. So if you're going to somebody else, that means you're not coming to me. So you're not all in. So how can I say that?
Not true. That's not necessarily true, though, James.
Hold on, Dip. Hold on, brother Dip. Hold on, brother Dip. Go ahead, Mr. Clifton.
That's not necessarily true. If she's doing some things that bother you, then I think that you should pull her aside and tell her that. But okay, let's just say in my case, you know, even though my wife and I don't drink, but just say before she met you, she was going to the club. She could still be committed to you and love you, but there was some things that she liked to do. She might like to go to the gym and you don't.
That's
She might
agreed.
like it.
That's
She might-
agreed. That's not what I'm speaking on. I'm
Yeah.
speaking on her confiding in a man and spending time with another man, or bringing another man, looking for guidance from another man when you are in a committed relationship with me. If we're committed, we
Oh,
need
no,
to
she's
figure
not,
this
that's
out
not supposed
together.
to happen. Yeah, they're not supposed to. That's
No,
not
we supposed to
be-
figure this thing out together. There's no, I'm the leader or you the leader. We need to sit down at the table and figure this thing out together. We may put our
Yeah.
heads together and do some humming until the
How
answer come
often
to
that
us.
work?
Yeah,
How
I mean,
often you
I
live-
agree, but there's some things that she might like to do. If she's doing too, they might have okay, let's just say if they had things that they were doing before you guys got together, it was an annual thing or a yearly thing that they got together and did and stuff. So are we expecting them to stop that once we come on board?
No, what I am expecting for her to do is include me
Yes.
in that now.
Right.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Where do you wanna go?
I'm not,
Where do you want- where do
we
you
all have
want-
different answers. Carlos Parker said yes. I'm saying
I said
no.
yes.
Okay.
I said, because I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I say yes. Because single people move differently than couples. You like when I got married, that's it. I don't go hanging with my single homies. Like they got different agendas. When you a single dude, you are constantly on the prowl, right? You're constantly looking for that opposite sex. If I already got mine at home waiting on me, I don't need to be with y'all. So if I had an out and I was doing with my homies, like we go to Vegas every year. When I got married, that's the wrap. That's the end of that, man. That's the end of that.
So Carlos,
so if you my
I'm
partner-
gonna stay right there for a
One at a
minute. So
time,
you
one at a
said
time.
you and your homies were doing this every year, right? You get
Mhm.
married, you stop going out with the homies on this annual guys trip.
Yeah.
So how are those single men supposed to learn what a marriage and what that relationship looks like if they don't have any married friends?
No, I'm their example. They can watch how I move. You feel what I'm saying? I'm
Okay.
their example. I ain't gonna tell them what to do. They can watch how
But
I
you
move.
tell-
I got people call me right now, right? I'm like, I was a peer support specialist, which is a life coach, right? So I have people who call me and ask me for advice I've only been married 7 years, but I'm successful. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't move shaky. I'm gonna move one way to like I don't nah. So I don't give myself grounds to mess up. Ain't no messing up, man. Ain't no messing up. I'm by the book, yo. By the
So
book.
you just cut your
No,
friends
We ain't
off?
perfect though.
Not
You
breaking
Yeah,
cut
that's
your
what I'm
single
saying.
friends off?
huh?
No, he didn't say
So you
that.
just don't go nowhere
He didn't
with
say that.
See, no, listen.
I ain't say cut them off. I mean, you won't go on trips with your single friends, man?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
Man.
not.
Now that
So-
works for him. That works for
Absolutely.
Yeah,
him.
that's individual. Yeah, I can see
Absolutely.
it.
That works for
That's
him.
individual.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Because we don't have the same interests anymore.
Because I'm gonna say this: when I was married, I learned this. I never realized it's so many black men. Oh, because that's all I can speak on. That's when I'm right. I didn't realize cheating was the norm.
It is.
I did not realize men cheating at. Well, y'all don't know my background, but everyone figured ain't nowhere in the world I'm committing to one woman and I ain't cheating and I ain't got. No, I was with one woman. Once I got married, that's it. My vision is this is the last thing I'm touching until I'm in a box. But when I'm around, I'm like, I'm watching all these dudes married. You married. You cheating on not your wife, but your family with some of the most random ratchet crap in the world. And it's like cheating is the norm. So I
Okay,
might
so
even say,
two
I don't want to
questions.
hang with the married dude.
Dip, 2 questions, and then I have to move on because we got a lot of people have their hands up.
God,
The cheating you're saying is the norm. Is that for just males or is that for both sexes?
man, you know I ain't about to start talking about that on here. These women get to going on me.
Oh,
I
no.
will.
I
Dip,
go
can
mute.
tell. Listen, I never met Dip. I
'Cause
don't
you know I know the women.
but I can tell how Dip talk. He from DC, right? Or from
Right.
the DMV area, right?
Right.
So women in DC cheat. I'm from Virginia. Like
Well, let
I
me
ain't
say
not,
this.
women.
Let's say
Women.
you
I'm gonna
say
say this
DC.
again, man. I'm
Hold
gonna
on,
say
Dip. You was talking, you ain't want to say nothing. Now, Dip, let
I'm
the
gonna say
brother
this
know.
again. Look, I'll take the fade. I'll take the fade. Women in DC cheat, man. That's what they do. I ain't lying, yo. Like, cause, and I'm not. I hate to just narrow down, but
You right,
Dip know what I'm
but
talking about, right? They
it ain't just
do what
DC.
they do. They successful black women in DC. They doing good. They own businesses. They gonna have them 2 or 3. That's just what it is, right?
Okay, let me move on. Let me
Look,
move on.
hold
All
on,
right, let me move
wait,
on.
let me put
Let me
one
move on.
premise. Women, and what I know, I don't never toot my own horn, because with the game I was in, OGs taught me on the break, brother, when you think you running women, you missing the game and you the one getting pimped. Women are on top of everything, man. Women gonna do what they want to do and how they want to do it. They got us way beat for cheating.
Okay.
They way
Okay.
slicker than us. Oh, and I get this from them, not my judgment.
You
I will
ain't telling
bring
me a
10
good woman. You
women
ain't
to
making
tell you.
me. You ain't making me look favorable on the women now for what you're saying. I just want you to know that.
The women mean, man. So that's why
Okay.
my vision come a little different.
Okay,
My
but leave it
relationship.
at that. Leave it at
I'm
that.
not worried about
Because
what a woman
well,
gonna
we're
do,
not gonna
because
say
a
all
woman
women.
gonna do
We're not gonna
what
say
they
all
want to
women.
do.
We're gonna say
I
we're
ain't
not
say
gonna
all
say
women.
all
What
women.
I tell you about that all, I don't use that word all.
Okay.
But I'm gonna tell you
Okay.
this here. A woman gonna out cheat us any day. She will
Okay.
get out on you any day because we have egos.
Okay,
Our
let me say this to
egos
you.
for
I
the
want to
women
say this
all
to
day.
you, and I want you to think about it while I go down the line for the other comments. Women cheat, men cheat. This is what you're saying.
You're right. But women
So
do
why
it
am I
better.
going? So why am I going to one of them for some advice? Now hold that thought. Let me move on down the line.
Because if
Mr.
they
Jones,
the
hold
cheaters,
that
you
thought,
can
brother.
learn the most.
You gotta hold that thought, brother. You gotta hold that thought. Mr. Jones, go ahead, unmute yourself and go ahead, Mr. Jones.
All righty. My apologies for not being able to show my face. I just stepped in the car because you guys were making a bunch of interesting comments. I'm gonna talk fast, 90 seconds or less. Y'all are making me laugh with regard to women and men. It's people, man. People are different. As far as relationship, as far as friends, boundaries, commitment, respect, that's people. You know, I'm 54 years old. When I was 24, I wasn't ready to commit and I didn't know how to commit, so I didn't commit. I was married before and I got a divorce, but I realize now that I wasn't ready because I didn't commit. You know, I have female friends. I have friends that I'm not interested in, that I give advice. I wonder how many of you men who are leaders on this panel actually give advice and counsel to people. It's never right to get in somebody's personal relationship. It's many things that are humiliating, but I would be so humiliated if a man comes to me about my household, or if my woman comes to me and tell me what another man told her. So that's where the respect, the boundaries, the trust, and all those things come into the relationship. You know, don't put it on men or women. Put it on that person. You know, I love talking about Maurice Clifton because he's so impressive to me. This is what he gives off, this aura, and he's not going to cheat. You know, I think he can counsel a woman. You know, it ain't a man, or it's you. You know, when you commit, Dip says that, you know, he had all these opportunities, and I get that too, but he's not doing that now. No matter what happens, he's not doing that now. You know, if Carlos Parks makes up his mind, he's not cheating, you know, and I believe that you guys have people that you counsel. You know, you don't have to talk to them every day to be a friend. I have work friends, school friends, and that's still friends. We don't talk every day, but she can't wait to get back to school or come back to work to get my advice or sip something. And I know that I can't give her advice on her house, and that's disrespectful when she brings those personal things. So like Dip was saying before, you can speak generally speaking, but you shouldn't give that thing. And that's disrespectful. If your woman comes, that's how I feel. But again, that's your woman. She's disrespecting. It ain't people, it ain't men or women, it's people. I have women friends, bro. And I believe that you guys give counsel to women. Carlos, you're a leader, man. People gonna seek your advice. You know, Kevin Haynes, people gonna ask you questions, male, female, whatever, you know. And yes, it is disrespectful, it's offensive, it is out of bounds when the woman brings, well, Carlos said this, or my friend Kevin said this. That's crazy. You know, my woman can't come to me like that. But it's okay to go somewhere else and get another exposure, another perspective. This show that my brother does, that you're doing, James, that's what this is about. To get other people's opinion. You can learn right, you can learn wrong, you can, you know, just get other things. You can learn what not to do, you know. So that's my thing. I have women friends because I'm 54 years old, and forget the age, because I choose to be in a committed relationship. I choose to be in, and if you make that choice, okay, you can have a friend. Because as Dip said, and as other folks have said, once she, or Maurice, forget which one of you gentlemen said it, once she crossed that line, you straighten her. And then if it continues the second time, okay, you're not my friend. You know, I can't deal with you. And I'm gonna tell your husband, I'm gonna tell, you know, that kind of thing. So I dislike you, we're characterizing or making a gender, or we're making it that there. And on the cheating thing too, male people cheat, man. Not males or females, people cheat. It's just as many women players and pimps out there as men, you know, and I don't like you saying DC women cheat. I'm in Miami, from Miami, but women in Hinesville, Georgia cheat. They're players too. Riceboro, Georgia cheat. You know, the smallest city in New York, they
I
cheat.
can only speak on what I know, right? I never been to Hinesville, Georgia.
Okay. But you
And
can't
so-
say that. You don't know all women. You can't speak for
No,
all
no,
women
I
in
know
DC.
areas, right? I know areas.
Okay, and
Like,
you
I
know
don't
the
how
women that you
familiar
know.
You are with DC. Are you familiar with DC?
Not at all.
He just
Not
All
at
right,
all.
so you
DC
can't speak
women.
on it, right? Like I
Right.
can't speak on Hinesville, Georgia.
Okay, so how you gonna tell me that women in DC, the women you know cheat? You know, if Aisha Robinson was living in
just
DC,
I'm
saying
not
they
from
different.
DC.
say what now?
It's
different.
listen, they
I am,
bring
they
they
different.
they different, homie. Trust me, they different.
Hey, trust me, I live in Miami. They different.
So
You know.
so
We got the
this like
opinion
this.
from any of the women yet about it? Because I ain't heard none of the women
Okay,
chime in. on what they
and
think.
I'm tagging off and
Let me
going back
ask-
in
Okay,
inside.
let
I'm
me
going back in the building.
okay. We got, I believe it's Sasha and Manti, and then we have Drew.
Yeah.
We had the hands up for a while. We have to be fair. Then after we comment with Drew, we are going to the women. We're going to start picking women out. We're going to start picking women out so
Well-
we can hear their comment. This is why we
Well,
had them on the show. We like to hear what they have to say. Manti, Sasha.
Yep, it's me. So one of the ladies are going to speak.
Okay.
Happy International Ladies Day. So I'm going to say a couple of things. Hold on, sweetheart. I'm going to say a couple of things. One thing is that everybody has this very interesting look at cheating, not cheating, trusting, not trusting, loyalty. But these are the core reasons why we have cases that are going the way they're going, why you have families that are broken, why you have people not knowing how to protect their equity, because they can't do the simplest basic thing as communicating as male and female, as ladies and men to each other. Their focus, their purpose have been created a trajectory of sorts where social things have been replaced by real things of base and culture, and in some cases religion. So you get distracted by all these little things that, let's say, Facebook, Instagram, Black Planet back in our day, MySpace, whatever the case may be, whatever the image, BET, whatever MTV, whatever the image that entertainment had provided, there was a transition of redefining what's important, right? There was a time some Muslims believe that there's no such thing as girlfriend, boyfriend, right? They're like, we getting married. And before we get married, we're going to go, we're going to pray, we're going to eat, we're going to have some time together. We're focused because we have a purpose, and this purpose is to come together and procreate and be as one, right? There's many religions that have that culture to it. And when it has been displaced by online dating, by concepts of being greedy, by not aligning yourself with the purpose of life, which is your rights, your privileges, your immunities, your equity, your ability to procreate and focus on that. When those things are distractions, you get into the politics. And feminism is one of the big core things that women and men have become victims to. Feminism has redirected what balance is between the male and the female. No, we can't do the same thing. No, if you're going to ask me directly, can we be friends? No, we can't be friends, because we're more than friends. We're family, and with family, there are boundaries, right? Remember when you were in your house and your mama did certain things and they said, okay, we're going to auntie such and such house. You better know, you better not ask for this. You better not do this. You better not do that. And you knew there was a line, there's boundaries that you did, even within your family, visiting their house. So why aren't there boundaries when you're visiting other people's house that's outside of your family, right? There must be boundaries. There must be purpose. Why am I being a male's friend? Where am I directing him to, or where is he directing me to if I'm in a relationship? Can the relationship have friends? Yes, of course. But then the insight still remains within, inward. making sure that they're being a part of a solution for the community as a whole, as far as making sure that they're addressing that their neighbors are not being arrested for no reason, by their children not being harassed in corner stores, by legislation being passed that doesn't bias them out of their ability to have strong families and own homes. Those are purposes, those are focuses that we must focus on, and not what drink and what dress and whatever the case may be. That shouldn't be in the forefront. And that, unfortunately, has been used to redefine what people's focus is. They're getting too much in their feelings and not putting their energy in motion for a purpose. That's it.
Thank you. J Love typed some things on Facebook, and I'm going to read them to you, then we're going to go to Drew. If you have anything on your mind, your partner/spouse should be the one you confide in. They should be your BFF. They should be the one you want to talk to about whatever it is. You can avoid issues by speaking to your spouse instead. Communication first, love and trust. At one time, women was considered the property of their husband. Back then, they stayed in relationships because they didn't work, didn't have credit, didn't own things, so they had to deal with whatever. Today, relationship dynamics are different. Each person has an opportunity to be 100. We are both responsible for the energy we bring to the relationship. The only ownership is our commitment to each other. And some don't want to cheat, so they don't. People cheat, men and women. It all comes with a level of maturity. Once you know who you are, your understanding of relationships evolve. You treat people how you want to be treated in all relationships. If you are not receiving what you give, you more onto what you are more onto what you desire. You're not interested in cheating. You're interested in a evolved relationship. I seek everyone's advice, but I'm loyal to Trey. Committed, this is Sandra McClure out of the UK. I seek everyone's advice, but I'm loyal to Trey, and it's all advocacy related. Basically, J Love, last comment. Knowing yourself will mature you into a space, into evolved relationship with yourself, and you will attract like people to you. That is J Love, Sandra McClure comments that's on Facebook. Drew, go ahead, sir.
All right, so I think I kind of started that whole straggling the fence thing, so I just wanted to get off that too. I'm gonna agree. I think it's completely on the individual. And I thought Carlos brought up an interesting point where he said, you know, he got married and he didn't want to hang out with his single friends, and that was complete like 360 to me in my experiences, because I know a lot of people that are married and they hang out with their single friends and they're married, like they're loyal. Like loyalty is loyalty. It's up to you. It's either in you, you're not. You know, every person is accountable for their actions. You know what you're doing, right or wrong. Everybody cheats. I don't care if it's man, woman. A woman's just as bad, because I know a lot of women that go out every Friday, Saturday night, and they are faithful to their homebodies. So I'm not going to say it's men got it bad, women got it worse. Women are definitely smarter about it. I'm definitely going to tip my head cat up to Dip about that, because he hit that on the head. They smarter about it. But everybody, everybody's accountable for their actions. It comes with a sense of maturity. So I just wanted to get off the fence with that. But as far as having friends, like I kind of had to rewind a little bit. I have a lot of now I'm really thinking about it. I'm not going to say friends, but I have a lot of acquaintances, really close acquaintances. And they happen to be girls. I got a lot of close acquaintances, and my men, they're my friends, people I just know. I didn't put a lot of people on to relationships, even to the point where, one, even though they're not together right now, but they just hit me up on my birthday that just passed. Both the girl and the guy sent me a text. I'm thinking, if it wasn't me, I wouldn't even have made that happen. And they was together for about 3 years, and they just broke up 2 months ago. So I'm thinking it's not really, it's up to us. We really are in control of our actions. It's really security and maturity when it really boils down to it. Whether you confide in a woman or the opposite sex in your relationship, unless it's not somebody in your family member you got that direct, strong relationship with, like a cousin. Like I confide in my cousins, if anything, my older girl cousins, because I need that perspective. Men and women are just wired differently. It is what it is. It's simple nature, is biology. But that was kind of my spiel. I definitely want to hear, I know my mom had a question, so I want to know what her question was. But for the ladies, Cherie, I see your hands up. Lisa, Violet, Felicia, I want to know y'all input, because I feel like
Okay, well, Lisa can't get her hand up. She's was on the list. I have right now my list of people. Cherie, Lisa. I didn't know your mom had a hand up. I see Carlos got his thing up. So right now, I want to hear something from the ladies, Mr. Parks. I want to hear what they have to say. I want to read one more thing, and this comes from Sandra McClure as to what Mr. Parks is saying. She said, if single friends go out to drink and hook up, why would you join them and be the one sitting alone? Most would rather stay home with their spouse. That's why single friends get dropped. Their focus is hooking up. When you're single and you're going out to wherever, you're looking to have fun. You're looking to engage. You're looking to pick something up. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of tempting for my friends to be over here doing this, and their friends the women don't know I'm married, so they're coming and saying, hey, let me hook my friend up with this person here. So you're putting yourself in a position. I think that's what Carlos is saying. Don't put yourself in a position where it can turn out bad. If I'm not talking to, if I don't have a female friend that I am confiding in, trust, and who I respect, who I'm on the phone with all the time, that's a whole lot of opportunity to put you for a bad situation to come up. I'm not saying a regular friend. We're talking about one that you're giving more energy that you would give a person that you meet on the job that you call your friend. And when you leave that job, you don't communicate with them. They only see you when at work. That's a friend. If you are saying, hey, say again.
I'm single. And when you got with me,
I'm not looking, bro. I'm not looking. I appreciate you for sharing,
single,
but I'm not looking, my man.
Y'all can hang with me. I ain't looking at nothing, man.
Okay, my man, I'm not looking.
Don't go no island.
Let me move on. I think that's what Carlos Parks is saying, not putting yourself in a position, because I'm gonna get to my in the end. Cherie, go ahead. Cherie had her hand up. Go ahead, Cherie.
Yeah, I had to come back because Carlos, just hit the DC ladies hard. So I feel like it's an individual thing, whether you're a man, whether you're a female. If you make a conscious decision to cheat, right? And I'm just, since he hit our DC ladies, I'm gonna come back at that. So Mr. Parks, I am single in DC, right? I have been married, I am divorced, and I have been in committed relationships.
You're going in and out, Cherie.
Relationships, and I know for a fact, men will come up to you and approach a woman, and you can say, yes, I'm in a committed relationship, or yes, I'm married. And they'll still say, can I get your number? And I'll say no. And then I look at them and I say, if I was your woman, would you want me giving out my number to you if we're in a committed relationship? And they say, oh, I guess you're right. But they'll try those things. If I told you I'm in a committed relationship or I'm married, that's that boundary, and say, okay, have a nice day and keep it moving. So it goes both, we have to take accountability for each other and how we interact with each other. And if a person is going to cheat, they're going to cheat regardless. That's a choice, whether you male or female, whether that's your BFF, whether that's your acquaintance, whether that's your work husband, work wife, whatever the title you give it. If you decide as an individual that you're going to cheat, you're going to cheat. And it's not always just physical, it's emotional, mental cheating too. That's worse than the physical, if you ask me. That's just my opinion.
Lisa Riley, unmute yourself and speak, ma'am.
Oh, I agree with you, Miss Cherie, completely. The mental cheating is the toughest. I just wanted to share for all the people that are listening, if you're in a situation like this and you're going back and forth, so he's cheating, she's cheating, get some type of counseling. I personally chose the counseling route. And it wasn't about who's better, who's not better, what they're doing. It's about working on myself, loving myself, becoming a stronger woman, more independent. And then at that point, why would I have to reach out to anybody to talk about my relationship? Because I'm more firm at who I am and what my life is about. And that's just me personally, but I think everybody needs somebody to speak to. You know, if they're right or they're wrong, I don't know who it is to say that, but I'm saying go with who works for you. You know, everybody needs somebody for sure. But I definitely kudos to the therapist route because it worked for me.
Thank you, Aisha. Yeah, you. We've been waiting on you. We say the best for last, man. Come on through. You ain't got no comment? You're still muted, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm really just loving the comments. I'm here for the comments, man. Big ups to the Reinvention Center for this topic. I have learned so much. Carlos Parks is an example, all right, for his friends, but he ghosts on them. Wow, like DC, really? And it is so interesting. I think through all of this, yeah, oh goodness. Through all of this, I think Mr. Jones hit it right on the head, right? It's really about the person. We make a choice, right? And you make a choice to be in a committed relationship. It's one thing, you know, to be in relationship, but to be in a committed relationship, marriage, you're choosing to be committed. And if you can't be committed to that, then walk away. That's just the way I've lived my life. I'm not a person who's going to cheat. If something's not serving me, if it's no longer working for me, I'm walking away. I'm not interested in talking about people. I'm going to talk to you, right? So in relationship, I'm not looking to go and talk about my partner. I want to talk to my partner. Yes, normalize therapy, counseling, marriage counseling. Before you marry somebody, there should be some extensive counseling. There are so many issues that are, you know, that you will face. And you need to be in alignment or have some understanding. So yes, normalizing the counseling. Be mindful of who you call your friends, right? Okay, so now we're going to step into the friend aspect of it, because confiding in anybody, right? Me as a woman, even for me to go to my girlfriends to confide in my girlfriends about my relationship is disrespectful to my relationship. Period. I don't really care how you think about it. So my girlfriends, and I've been a friend to girlfriends, to my girlfriends, and their husbands are jealous, let's say, of me as their friend. There can be some issues there, right? If you're in a committed relationship, for real, you probably don't even have time for friends. You don't have the time to be hanging out, chilling, club, this, that, vacation. I mean, you really probably don't have the time. And in a committed relationship, I want to be with my partner. That is my friend. He is my friend. He is who I want to spend my time with. And that is by choice. Now, do I have some male friends? I absolutely probably have some male friends, right, in my life. I could think of at least 3 off the top of my head. But I do, because I'm in a very committed relationship, I am aware that these men, while they have been around and in my life, they are probably waiting for an opportunity or waiting for me to be available to them in some form or fashion. but I do have friends. Now, one of these male friends recently lost his mom. He's calling me, he's on the phone with me, he's going through some stuff, you know, and we're just kind of talking about that aspect of it. He's dealing with things with the siblings and all of that that comes with the loss of his mother. My significant other is like, what he calling you for? Right? Like, he don't have I don't know if he doesn't have anybody else to call, right? But this is someone that I know. This is someone that I've known for a long time. This is someone that, you know, I have a respect for in his life. I have had to tell him, like, listen, it's not appropriate for me to talk to you about this particular topic because he is my friend and I care for him. I care for whomever he is with, right? So I'm not here to bash his wife, his family, whomever. I'm here as a person that he can vent to, that he can be heard, and there's going to be very little advice. And if you've ever gone through any sort of counseling, even that certified licensed counselor is not giving you the answers to your problems. The process of counseling is for you to go and sit there and start talking. And once you begin to talk, you really start to work out your own problems. You hear yourself and you, to me, this was my experience, right? This is my experience with counseling. But a lot of it is once you start to open up and you begin to hear your own voice is the very first voice. Like we have to be kinder to ourselves. And once you start talking about things, it really just starts to make sense. Once you begin to verbalize it, you can knock a lot of things down. And if you're in a relationship and there are problems to where you gotta really go and seek somebody else for some advice, you probably already know the answer. You should not be in that relationship. You need to be doing something about the commitment that you have, because maybe, you know, that person hasn't chosen you in the way that you have chosen them. Wow, it's been a whole lot, I think, to have to touch on. I wasn't ready to speak. I love all of the different just perspectives though, right? I have been a friend to married couples, right? So I've been in that position where maybe I was friends with the guy, he got married, or even friends with a young lady and she's married, or I met them as a married couple. And this happens to me quite often. I don't know why, but I've gotten phone calls from the both of them, right? And a lot of times the husband is like, he's calling me, it's strictly platonic. He's not trying to get with me, I'm not trying to get with him, but he knows that I'm her friend. So he's looking for perspective. Help me out with this. Usually, Aisha, you know, you able to break something down or tell me something or give me something like, how should I handle this? Or what's really on her mind, right? And the same thing for the husband. I mean, for the wife, like I get these calls and then I gotta deal with confidentiality, right? Because I'm not gonna go behind their backs. But usually the direction is you guys need to talk to each other. You need to be able to talk to one another. And if this is someone that you say you're calling yourself committed to, be accountable, you know, choose for yourself if that's right, and assess if they're treating you properly in the way that you want to be treated, and do some talking to each other. And then let's have a relationship with God, because whomever you worship, whomever you choose, but like, that's our counselor. I'm done.
Thank you. Miss Violet, would you like to say anything, Miss Newborn?
Yes, you want to say
just-
something? Let me say something. Let me respond to it. They let us say something, but let me respond to him. If he call you, if your girlfriend's husband call you, ask for a perspective about her, he's dead wrong. He ain't got no business asking for a perspective about her, about anything, about what she's thinking or anything. He's dead wrong. And he's way out of line. You know what I mean? Especially if you're her friend, he ain't got no business calling you about her, a perspective or a position or anything about her. And he hunting. As simple as that, he hunting.
Okay, so is it fair to say that a lot of men hang around women under the disguise of friends, looking for that opportunity to come because
And vice versa, and vice versa.
and vice versa, because the woman is a good woman. He recognized that. The man who hasn't recognized that. And the man is a good man. Everybody recognizes that there's two good people. So why wouldn't he want her? She's attractive, she's intelligent, you know, she's about her business. Why wouldn't the man want her? So you think he's just hanging around her just for a woman like that, just for the sake, can I like you? You know, not intimately, and I don't want no possibility with you. I just want to be in your presence. Does that happen?
I believe it do.
Who is that?
Yeah,
It can happen.
you can have them.
It can
Especially
happen.
when you hanging around a high income
Okay, it
bracket,
can. How
gotta have-
often does
when
it
you hang
happen?
around a
It
low
can.
income bracket, it don't.
Let's agree that it happens. It can happen. How often does it happen?
I just said,
Not
you
very often.
hang around rich people.
Okay,
You see,
we
have
are
all
not
time.
rich people. We're talking about
That's what I
people
just
we
said.
hang
When you
around.
Yourself,
got rich
James.
people, it's a whole
Huh?
different game. Grand
Speak for yourself.
Okay, but okay,
Okay, but
Listen.
Okay.
You
We
hang
say hang
around
around
the-
rich people.
It's a whole
Hang
different
around.
game.
we can't talk at we can't all talk at
Hey,
the
we
same
can't talk
time.
at, we can't all talk
Can't
at
talk
the
at the
same
same
time.
time. One
That's
person at a
you.
time.
Talk at the
That's
same
you.
time. One
That's
person at a
you.
time. It's you. You got the double feedback.
All right, there we go. All right, so
All
I have
right,
my
there we
hand
go.
up for a
Hold
long
on,
time.
Mr. Hayes, let him speak. Let him speak first because you
I have my hand up
want to speak
for a
first,
long
Mr. Hayes?
time.
How you want to do it?
So I want to say something. I'm pretty sure that I might go over the women's heads with this one, but I know Kevin Haynes is going to get this, right? I know he's going to get this one. So if I want to learn about what it takes to win a championship, right? I'm not going to go to Reggie Miller. I'm going to go to Michael Jordan, right? I'm going to go to somebody whose opinion I respect because I know they've been through it. They've experienced it. So the word expert, the etymology, it comes from experience, right? In order to be an expert, you have to have experience with something, right? A therapist is not an expert. A therapist learned in school. An expert is an actual peer of yours who's gone through something. So if I want to learn about marriage and relationships, I want to learn from someone who successfully. I don't want to learn from Steve Harvey, who wrote the book and then got divorced. I want to learn from somebody who was in a successful marriage. My grandfather, you know, my grandparents were married long enough to have their 50th wedding anniversary, or was it the 8th? No, they were 100. So I want to learn from experts in that field, right? Not to undervalue the people on here who said, I used to be married. But when you say that, you kind of discredit your position because you've already showed me that it didn't work with you in your marriage, right? So if you used to be married, that means that you did something wrong and your marriage failed or somebody did, right? So that right there, not to say it totally discredits you, but it automatically makes me think, okay, am I going to listen to this position? So I'm still married. I ain't messed up my marriage, right? So like, and I plan on continuing to be married, right? So my position comes from learned experience. My oldest son is 28. So it's hard for me to listen to somebody, Andrew, that has been on the planet 25 years, 20 or 24 years, right? So I understand you got homegirls, that your homegirls, you know, that you got a lot of female friends, but you're not married.
Please let me answer.
You feel what I'm saying? You're not.
One question. Just one
I'm
question.
gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go.
Real quick.
Hold up.
Would you listen to Bill Gates?
You're not. If you're not married, right? If you're not married,
would you listen to Bill Gates?
If you call what you're in as a committed relationship, committed means paperwork supporting it. If you just go together for a long time, that's how I look at that. Right? You ain't
I want to address one thing.
Once you put this is a commitment, homie.
I'm gonna let you speak, sir. I'm gonna let you speak.
You can fail that,
man. Until you step out there, till you jump out there. It took me 4 months to say, man, will you marry me? 4 months. It don't take a long time. It took me 4 months. 4 months after that, I was married. 4 months
All right.
after that, we were pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So
So tell me this.
know what you
Okay,
want.
okay, let Drew, let Carlo, we gonna let Drew speak. 'Cause we
All right,
wind-
okay, all
we
right.
wind it down
No,
on time. We wind up. I got, Drew, you speak, and then I got to give to Miss Violet, Miss Newborn. She has to speak.
So no, I'm not even talking about me personally with the marriage because I'm only 24, but I hang with an older crowd. I got a variety of friends and people I know, so and associate with. So I'm not just talking about me. I see how they live. I see how their wives move. I see how their households are run. So it's not just me. I'm 24. I just got into a committed relationship, and I did that on purpose because we're not even gonna talk about that because my mother's on the line. But I just I already know what's out there.
You
And
want me to kick her off? I
that's
kick
why-
her off. I kick her
that's why-
off, Drew. You want to get it off your chest?
That's why I'm saying it's up to the person. Like word to, I'm not even gonna sit here and say, I'm just womanizing. It is what it is. You got game when you don't. And women know that. Like you either got it or you don't. It's up to you. You got enough control. Are you the man? Are you the man or not? Can you say no? Are you gonna let them control you? Are you gonna let them run game on you? That's how I look at it. It's not even like I'm being safe, and I understand where you're coming from. You're not even gonna put yourself in that predicament to where you could slip up. I respect that. But that's just personally not me, because if I do it, I know who I am. I'm accountable and I'm loyal to the bone. So if I do it, something triggered me. I'm very logical. It was like, all right, this is why I did it. And I know what I'm doing when I'm doing it too. And I'm not going to say that's everybody, but that's just me. That's why I say, like, it's up to you. It's individual. Like, it's really how you march to your own beat. You can
Means
control
you hold yourself accountable.
Yeah, you got to hold, and that's why I said earlier. Everybody's.
We got one trying to run. We got a runner. We got a track star. She done jumped off, man. Y'all done made me miss Violet comment, man.
Oh yeah.
Tantrum.
Man, y'all done made me miss Violet comment.
Well, can I ask my question real quick about the Donald Trump?
No, man, you've been doing a lot of talking, man. We gotta get some things
You
out
gotta
of 10
understand
o'clock.
you can learn from people that fail, because all these successful people in the world are the billionaires, millionaires, and most successful people in every business gonna tell you off the break. They failed before they got the winning month.
Okay, let me. I got two people. Mr. Jones, Sasha, and Manti, and then I'm gonna. You got something you want to say, Mr. Hayes? Go ahead and start off with Mr. Hayes. Then we're gonna go to Mr. Jones. We go to Manti, and then I'm gonna close out. It's 10 o'clock. We passed the schedule, but let's roll. Go ahead, Mr. Hayes. Where you at?
Let's roll. Yeah.
I just want to keep it brief. Clearly, I hear this. This is millionaires, but millionaires and billionaires don't go through this. This is poor people talk. That's not true. That's disingenuous at best. Let's take it to the top. Bill and Melinda Gates, divorce. These is millionaires and billionaires. Jeff Bezos and his wife, divorce. This is millionaires and billionaires. Donald Trump, 3 different marriages. This is millionaires and billionaires. Jennifer Lopez, several times divorced. Chris Rock, divorced. All of the Kardashians, divorced. These is millionaires and billionaires now. Jennifer Aniston. Let me finish. Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, and Chris Rock, Johnny Depp, and the list goes on and on and on. And a lot of their relationships is dealing with infidelity. What?
Okay,
Michael
okay, so let me go to Mr. Jones. You finished, Mr. Hayes?
Jones.
You finished?
Mr. Hayes?
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead.
Mr. Jones, we had 10:03, gentlemen. Come on, let's roll. Mr. Jones, how you doing, sir? Come on.
I'm good. 60 seconds. Carlos Park, I got a lot of things to talk about. I was a bit miffed, even though I saw Cherie's face about the divorce. I got married when I was 22. As Dip was trying to say, and other people may think, you can learn from other people's mistakes. And I'm a better person because I failed. Like the guy was saying, it's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get up. And experience is the greatest teacher. Don't be careful now, because you are a person that got convicted of a felony. Well, even if you were innocent, so that means I can't learn from you. You went to jail. That means I can't hang out with you.
I wasn't innocent. Okay. I can teach you how not to go to jail. Shit.
No. You can't teach me how to be a law-abiding citizen because you failed before. You can teach me.
I can teach you how not to go to jail. I can teach you that.
That's my question is, can you teach me to be a law-abiding citizen because you were not that once? Because I had a bad marriage, because I wasn't committed. I can't now tell you that I've learned from that, that I've grown, experience, as you pointed out.
No, if I had the choice between learning from a person who failed at marriage and a person who's successful at marriage, I'm going to choose the person who succeeded.
Okay, I got you. You're a mentor now, and
Yeah.
you failed as a citizen.
That's what made my word valuable as a mentor. I'm a peer support specialist.
And that's what makes my
required that you
word
have life
valuable.
experience.
And that's what makes my word valuable to these young guys who are making these mistakes. They're not cherishing their queen. They're not putting these things forward. I can speak on my mistakes and tell you what road not to go down. That's not
The
good.
difference is I reversed my path. Have you gotten back married?
Haven't chosen to. I haven't chosen
Okay,
to.
that's the difference. That's the difference.
That doesn't
So
mean I
if-
haven't learned from my mistakes, though, Carlos.
No,
Okay,
no,
so-
I want
so-
to my point
me-
is that you're saying that because I failed as a citizen, but I turned around and I succeeded as one. So if you failed as a husband, if you turn around and succeed as one, then you validate yourself. But you haven't gotten back on the horse. You feel
Because
what I'm saying?
okay, I'm not gonna monopolize. I'm gonna have to call you. Actually, I'm gonna bring you down here, bro. I'm gonna bring you down. I'm laughing too, and I'm afraid because I want you to know my brother's head over heels, madly in love with a DC woman. Ooh, I can't wait to talk to her offline. Cheating, such and such. He's
She might
head
be
over
from
heels.
Maryland, though. She might be from Maryland.
No,
Okay,
she's
so
from
look,
she's
listen,
from DC.
listen. We got to
don't
keep
moonwalk.
moving. We got to keep moving. I just want to say this to what both of y'all are saying. The word fail, F-A-I-L, is a first attempt at in learning. So, that's all that means. So you can learn from that first attempt in learning. That's where that goes from. Sasha, man.
Hey, everybody. So I'm always going back because everybody was like, it's based on the individual. And I think that's where the problem lay. It's always based on an individual and not the individual. Again, culture has always created an individuum where everybody together had a purpose, had a focus, had a representation, had each other. When it becomes I, you can never be the I am. And that's a difficult space to work from. And when you become that individual only based on your individual concept and not laying on the foundation of what is successful in acting and behaving together, you run into a big piece called cognitive dissonance. And a lot of people don't realize those things play in people's decisions, whether how strong you are or how weak you are. Cognitive dissonance in your environment, no matter what level you are, affects how you decide in your relationships how you're going to behave. Are you going to be seriously strict and say, no, you can't do that and have no experience whatsoever? Or are you going to experience something, be lax about it and say, hey, I experienced it? Whatever it is, your environment has a huge play. And like I said, I'm a huge person to say that feminism has definitely played its role in defining what is a caste system to its individual power. It's created this concept that women, you're either a very strong woman and you can do everything, or you're damsel in distress. But either way, you're going to rule over everything. And at the same time, men don't have a space to just feel like they have I give this example. They get a nail and they're hammering it and they accidentally hammer their thumb. They better thug it out. No, that's not realistic. You better say, ouch, it hurt. Like, there is no space for men to actually deal with their energy that they have to display. There's no space for women to comprehend that some spaces you just have to be quiet and listen and understand and create. Creating, sometimes you have to be in the between beat of existence. There's a space called rest, and rest doesn't have a sound. It just exists in its void to create, and that's where we are. But again,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Again, like I said, cognitive dissonance plays a big role on everybody's mind, no matter what background you come from, whether you're European, you're Caucasian, you're melanated, you're whatever cultural background you have. When you're dealing with this type of society that we live in, that is one of the big things that helps you decide what you're going to do in your relationship. Gotten through that, I don't know what you got.
All right, thank you. I want to say I want to say what I got to say, then I'm gonna let Big Dip take us out. He gonna say the parting words for us. But before I get into what I want to get into, I want to point a few things out. First, I want to say that we are intertwining the definition of a friend. You know, we have to separate like a work friend opposed to a friend that we see in the street or a best BFF or something like that. For the purpose of this show, it was about someone that you confide in, someone that you spend time on, that you're calling, someone you hang with. You know, you don't do all that with all of your friends. So we're not speaking of the ones that you don't do all that with. You know, we're saying, is it okay for your wife to have that type of friend or your significant other to have that type of friend where who they trust, respect, confide in, take advice, hang out with, be on the phone with all the time, stuff like that there. We do not do that with all of our friends. As I said earlier today, I have a best friend that's a female. Me and her probably talks once or twice every 6 months, you know, but we're best friends. If she needs something, I'm there. And if I need something, she's there. She knows she knows everything about me. But make a long story short, before I move forward, I wanted to ask Aisha a question, which is this. What are the key components in a relationship that makes a relationship work?
The key components, I'm gonna say, definitely communication.
Okay, stop.
Right.
Stop. And if she's going to communicate with another man, how is she pushing the betterment of our relationship?
So this is why my answer to that question was no,
Okay.
you really, right? But communication, you should be able to talk to the person that you're in relationship with.
Right.
Communication, right? Then there has to be some level of accountability. I say next, right? Both have to be accountable because it is each of our choices. There's opportunity all day long from my side, from his side. The opportunity is going to be there. Just walk out the door and it's available to you. But we make a choice. We make a choice to stay committed to one another. So that accountability. And then just having some trust that
Okay, the components you're giving me is communication, which is not there because she's giving that to the BFF or the other guy, or he's giving it to the other woman. And then you're saying trust. You're saying trust. If you can't come to me and talk to me about something you have going on in your life, then you don't trust. Then I'm going to give you the best advice, or you don't trust me to lead you. So there's a lack of trust and there's some bad communication. Now, I will also want to say this. I don't mean to cut you. I just want to have you express that because I knew I could get the answer from you. I've heard we had a big conversation about cheating, both ways. Okay, if we know, for example, and I'm going to speak from a male perspective, if I know that all men cheat, right, and this is what we pretty much gather up, not all, but a lot of men cheat, you know, and they're hanging around for the opportunity to get with whoever. Why would I want my woman around a gentleman like that, Darren? You know, that's the first thing. And this is what was said by the ladies on the show, that men cheat. Second thing they said, is I believe Cherie said this, that even though she was married and a man came to her and spoke to her and he said, hey, I like you. And she said, I'm married. He said, I don't care. He's still trying to push up on her. These are the people that you are expecting me not to feel some type of way about being around you as my significant other. You know, to me, that's kind of absurd. There's no communication, there's no trust, and we're dealing with some untrustworthy individuals, not my significant other, but untrustworthy individuals. Now, we are all humans and we feed off of each other's energy. If you're not giving me something and I go to somebody else to give me what you're not giving me, it may make me feel some type of way. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm feeling that type of way and you catch me at that moment, anything may happen. As some say, then we may slip. Carlos Parks is saying, I'm eliminating all of these possibilities and all these obstacles. So if I slip, I'm laying on the ground by myself. I better get back up. That's what Carlos Parks is saying. I feel good method. You know, me, myself, good method. Because if we're in a committed relationship, then you should be communicating with me. You should be trusting me. You should be confiding in me. You should be talking to me. You shouldn't have time to talk to nobody else on the phone because you're on the phone with me trying to build our committed relationship. I look at this and we see this happen all the time. When one spouse dies, it used to be this way. When one spouse dies, the other one dies shortly after. Why? Because they were so committed to each other and their world was about each other. There was nobody else on the outside that was confiding and talking and leading and guiding, you know, everything came from each other. So now this is when you hear those words from the people that die shortly after, I don't know how to live without them. This modern day stuff that's going on today, she can live without you because she got somebody else that's going to do what you ain't doing. He's been doing it the whole time. So this is why things have changed and why things are the way they are. You know, if he dies, oh, well, how much insurance did he have on him? Let's put him in the ground and we going on the cruise, girl, let's roll. You see what I'm saying? Or let's go on the cruise, partner, let's go. Because it's not the same no more. My uncle had a memorial for his wife today of 55 years. They was married for 55 years. They committed to each other. You know, so when we say commitment, we're not speaking of somebody that you deal with on work or somebody you meet. I think Drew said it best. The young man said it best. You know, they're not our friends, they're our associates. We use these words too loosely. You know, everybody's not our friend. Some of us are our associates. We associate with you on work. We do what we got to do. When work is over, I'm gone. You know, so I just wanted to share that. I know, Kevin Hayes, you got your hand up, and then after you speak, Big Dip gonna take us out for time restraints. Go ahead, Kevin Hayes.
Well, I'm kind of getting off topic here. We had did a show of Drew, Aisha.
Please don't.
No. Listen. Just hear me out. Give me a chance to speak. Not to get off a topic here. We had did a show, me, Mr. Jones, Drew, Aisha, regarding the inheritance in certain situations. As you know, my situation, Mr. Jones. As of Monday, they appointed me and my sister as over the estate of our mother. They removed my sister from, you know, y'all know about the motion, my situation. So I'm just want to put that out there. And thanks to everybody on the show and all the input, Drew, Aisha, Mr. Jones, of course, the Reinvention Center, everything. I just wanted, as well as Breaking Silence, Southern Mississippi and all. But they right now, me and my older sister, we are the administrators of my mother's estate. That's it.
Appreciate you. Congratulations.
Appreciate you.
We're praying for you. Big Dip, you ran off. When you get the floor, you run off, huh, Big Dip? I bet you out there talking to that girl out there on that patio. That's what you're doing, Big Dip. I don't know. You know, like I say, everything works different for the person. I think that if you have a friend, there has to be boundaries. I think those boundaries have to be set by everybody involved. You know, I think that if he was a lifetime friend, because people speak of that, we didn't get into that tonight, but lifetime friend that was there before me, okay, I don't expect you to get rid of that friend, but I expect something to change, because whatever you was doing before I came in and when you were single, you're not single no more, and I'm here. You see what I'm saying? So the same thing can't continue to happen that was going on before I came here and before you got yourself in a committed relationship. So I think that I think we use the word friend wrongly, because we're not speaking of someone that's an associate. We're talking about someone that you're giving some intimacy to, whether emotional or not physical, but just emotional or mental. Because if you're on the phone with the person often, or you're hanging out with them, it's a whole lot of time you're spending with the person to where you're confiding in them and you're trusting and respect. He's giving you something your man ain't giving you, or you feel like there's something there that you're not getting from your man. So there's going to be some type of emotion with it. Mr. Dip, man, we glad to see you back, man. Man, listen, we're going to let you take us on out with this words of wisdom that you have, great brother. We're going to ask that you close us out within a couple of minutes and give it to us. That's what we're asking, sir.
Cool. I'm going to say this. I know we've been talking back and forth about a lot for this topic, but I'll say this. I've been a daddy since 15. Raising a single child. I've been a single father, raising my child since 17. And I had family early. So a lot of the stuff we talk about, I've been through. Early in life, I've had all the family members and everybody telling me after having children how soft you get, giving me all that advice we talking about from perspectives that they had no clue about. Because I had kids first, I had relationships first, I had family first. But then as they got older, it's funny to see how all them same people, like we say, you're giving advice to something that you've never been in, have no experience in, when they now facing it, I look at them when they coming to me with, man, I'm going through this, going through that. And I could say, well, just leave her. Why you want to do this? Remember the advice you used to give me? Tables turn all the time. So I understand that too about talking to people who don't know. But also what makes me as successful as I've been raising 13 children and going through as much as I've been through with all my relationships I've been in, I learned a lot from what you would consider the unsuccessful. I learned so much from sitting up on MLK with those homeless guys and the people that they thought were crazy from up MLK downtown, talking to people sleeping on grates, which I got a lot of advice and a lot of knowledge and a lot of foresight for things that happened in my life that came amongst that. When it came, I realized, okay, it's not me, because I've heard many before me go through this. People that were giants that were sleeping on these grates that we wouldn't have never believed they were who they are when we walking by them thinking they just a bunch of drunk losers, because we never believed that'll never be me. Life deals you a whole lot of stuff that's unexpected. And if you don't have no wisdom to go to, I can tell you now, I don't care nothing about the books you read, the people amongst you that's side by side of you, because you don't have someone ahead of you that you can go to, the people you can walk with side by side of you, and the people behind you that you can teach and walk with and show, man, life is a hell of a journey to go through. So our topic tonight is about the friends, man. Look, I just say this, find people that love you, because if they love you and got your best interest at heart, they ain't about to try to break up your family, break up your friendship, break up your relationships. And they don't have no problem with knowing your spouses. If it's somebody that's going to attack your family, because it should be about your family. If you a man, as Carlos said earlier, I'm gonna make sure my wife is happy, whatever it takes to make her happy. Even if it's something crazy, I don't believe in it, but guess what? As man, I'm gonna make sure my household and my wife is happy, and my family gonna be happy. So that's what makes me happy, making sure they taken care of. When you doing that, if you a man, take care of your household and you working to provide, you ain't got much time to go out and partying and doing senseless stuff anyway. So
Okay, what about the woman, Dip? You go on one side, and what about the woman, man? That's what I'm asking you. You're saying about the man. I hear all the time, happy wife, happy life. Okay, you believe in that concept?
True that.
You believe in that?
Happy wife, happy life.
So it's no happy
If
house,
you-
happy spouse. Happy house,
happy spouse. That's what I say,
mean that could
because
be
right
either
now,
one. That
you
could be either
exactly
one.
right.
So you
Because
can't
right
say
now,
happy
you
wife.
got
What
more
about
of-
the man happiness?
More stuff right now is teaching our women that you don't have to respect your man. You don't have to, everything is up in the woman right now. So you're exactly right. So when I'm speaking on it, I'm speaking about when you have that help me and that support. Because I'm not going to be with one that ain't that anyway. You know my law. If you believe in all this old feminism crap and we equal partners and all that, well, you ain't even walking in my world in the first place. So you're right about that. So women need to understand it. Look, know your role to have a man. You want to be a man, you ain't gonna last them out. And that's what I was saying about Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey's book was actually written to help women understand men. It got taken out of context, but he never corrected it. Why didn't he correct it? Because that's what blew his ass up. So he rode the train because they took it the wrong way. It was teaching women how to learn how to think like a man means we're going to teach you how we think. This will help you. That's what he was saying about, hey, what's that? Hagar has that thing, think like a man, or how women think and how men think. See, we always trying to treat each other the way we want to be treated, but we two different factions. Women don't want the same thing men want. So Steve Harvey originally came out with that book for that purpose. It got taken out of context, but hey, he ran with it because it blew his ass up.
Okay,
But
so
he
let me ask you this last question, and then we're gonna
Yeah,
close
stop.
this show. I'm gonna ask you this last question, we're gonna close this show.
Yeah.
When two people get into a committed relationship, they should be leaning on each other for everything.
Exactly. with communication and agreeance on our roles before we decide to get in a relationship.
So there's really no need if they're doing that. There's really no need for anybody else to be in the equation.
Outside factions, right? And if it is, that means we are agreefully going together. Because we communicate well enough, if we going outside, we going together.
Okay, so you're saying if we go outside, it shouldn't be one person going outside, it should be both people going out.
It should be both of them.
Okay, now Sheree, I'm gonna let you comment.
That's
but
in the
you know it's
perfect
10:30. We've
situation.
been here 8 o'clock now. I'm gonna let you comment now, but we got to get off the Zoom. You know, go ahead, Sheree.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it brief because Carlos, I'm addressing Carlos' comment about not being the expert when you go through a divorce. So just to give you some background, Carlos, I got married when I was 25, right? My husband wasn't ready. A year later into our relationship, everything was going fine. I was a happy wife, right? But he had 3 girlfriends. I didn't sign up for that, right? Then he had some stuff, some baggage in his background that I didn't know about, and it came out. And one thing that I am not going to do, you cannot put your hands on me, period. I didn't grow up like that, right? So yeah, I went to counseling. He didn't want to go. I'm out. If you tell me you don't want to be married to me or anybody else, even though you asked me to marry you, I was living my life, right? Fast forward 25 years later, it took 25 years later for him to come to me and say, you know what, Sheree, I apologize. I wasn't ready to be married. I didn't know what it was like to be a good man, right? And I remember the worst, the most disheartening thing I heard back then when we first got divorced was his elders and family members say, oh, it's in the genes.
You know, the thing is this here,
no 20-year-old ready to be married.
Okay.
No, he was older than me, Dip. He was older than me. He was like,
Okay.
it's a 7-year age difference.
Okay, we have to get off.
You have to teach people and hold people accountable.
Okay, we have to get off. We
Okay.
have to end the show. I'm just going to close out by saying that if you go into a committed relationship with someone else, that means you're committed to the relationship. And everything should be about you two coming up with it together. As someone just said, if you run into something y'all don't have no understanding on, then you both should be going to seek that together. It shouldn't be one person going to a person or leaning on somebody else's understanding and stuff like that there.
It should be like the penitentiary.
When you do that, when one person goes and speak to a person on their own, that's when the dissension creeps, or that negative energy or a different form of energy creeps into the relationship, and it starts tarnishing your alleged commitment. You know, so if you want your commitment and you want your life, you have to protect it like your life depends on it. If you want that person, you have to protect it and you have to show like your life depends on it. You know, if you don't do that, then you're not really ready to be in a committed relationship. If you feel like that you can still go out and talk to this and do that and do that, you're not ready for a committed relationship. Be honest with yourself.
Let's close it like this. Hey, James, if you go to
committed
rob a
parties, not
bank,
just one.
Two, that's what I'm saying. Two.
Hey, James,
And if you're going, and I ain't talking about one of them being somebody outside that commitment.
Hey, James, we know a best friend of opposite sex is just a plan B. That's it.
I agree. Hey,
let's go to commitment. If we rob a bank, it's me and you, right? We walk in this bank, we know we committed that we going to rob this bank. It's me and you.
Right.
If we get caught, what we committed to? That damn penitentiary. And guess what they ain't gonna do? They ain't gonna give you no options of out. They ain't gonna give you none of that shit. You stuck in the penitentiary for 25 years together, ain't no out. That's how you need to carry your relationship, your marriage.
Okay, ain't no out. You know,
Ain't no
so
out.
everything should come from you. You
Yeah.
too, as she's
Right.
saying. Not 3, not 4, not 5. If you got trust into somebody else, then that's the other part of that too.
Till death do you part. And
Everybody, I appreciate all
bail. I didn't have enough lawyer money, so
I appreciate all comments. Definitely an interesting show. Y'all don't want to get off, and I'm not going to have a part 2 on it. I want to say this here. I respect everybody's opinion, everybody's perspective. You can learn from anybody, anything. That's just my opinion. You know, So keep that in mind. Everybody have a good night, and I see y'all again next week. If you want to have somebody look at this, it will be on YouTube on the channel of the Reinvention Center. So you can go back and look at it on the Reinvention Center channel starting tomorrow on YouTube. Thank you. Good night.